What's good, y'all? It's Terribleshooter here, back with another Terrible Isn't Permanent. That's tip for y'all. For all you new gun owners and you beginners out there, we're gonna be talking about how to load your firearm and how to unload your firearm. Now, it's a very easy and simple thing to do. However, if you've never operated a firearm before, this is something that you definitely want to pay attention to. All right? So you got your firearm and you're wondering, how do I load it? How do I put ammunition inside the mag? How do I load it into the firearm itself or whatnot, right? There's no X button, there's no square button, you know, where there's an automatic reload or anything like that. This is real life. So notice, if you pay attention, my trigger finger is nowhere near the trigger. It's nowhere near the trigger. So I know that I have to operate this firearm with caution, right? Because at any point in time, this firearm could potentially discharge if I'm being careless and reckless. So what I have here, I have a Glock 48. Now I'm right-handed, so you have a mag release, which is right here, and you also have a slide lock, which is right here. All you have to do is hit the mag release and it spits the mag right out. Let me do that one more time. I hit the mag release, it spits the magazine right out. Now we're not finished. I carry one in the chamber. So what I have to do is I have to rack this slide back so I can unload that round that's in the chamber. I'm gonna demonstrate. And as you can see, that one round that was in the chamber was spit out. Now when you wanna load your mag or load your firearm, you're gonna have a magazine. This one is loaded, this one's not loaded. So I'm gonna demonstrate on the one that's not loaded. You get your round, just like that, all right? Get your firearm. Remember, keep your trigger finger away from the trigger. You don't want to accidentally have a discharge, all right? When you're at the range, you want to practice the same concept. Keep your finger trigger, keep your finger trigger, your trigger finger off the trigger, okay? You want to keep it up here near the slide so you don't accidentally shoot. So you loaded your round into the magazine. You load your firearm, and that's it, right? No, because if you're at the range and you do exactly what I just did, and you go to shoot, let me show you that grip real quick. You go to shoot, nothing's gonna happen because there's no round in the chamber. Now, if you notice, it looks empty, it's very black in there, but I'm gonna show you the difference in just a second. So when you load your magazine, right, you insert your firearm, you rack your slide back. When you rack it with intent. Don't be scared to rack the slide back. That's what it's made to do. There's tension for a reason, all right? So now that I rack my slide back, now you take a look. You see that brass in there? That's our round that we had in the magazine that's now loaded into the chamber and it's ready to go. All right? So it's very simple. It's very easy to do. You don't want to be at the range, you know, nervous, not knowing how to operate your firearm. And you think that, okay, well, the first step was to put your rounds into your mag and you load your firearm, but then you don't rack the slide back and you're pressing the trigger and you're trying to figure out why it's not shooting. You know, with Glock, they have a safety which is on the trigger here. So let's say if you did load your firearm, you press the slide lock on this firearm is right here. It's not really defined, so it's kind of hard to do, especially if your hands, you know, were wet or you had some grease on it or whatnot. Let's say you load your firearm, right, and you go to shoot. Now there's no bullet in the chamber, okay? So nothing's going to engage when I pull this trigger, all right? You see that? Nothing happened because I didn't rack the slide back. I'm going to demonstrate that to you again. Now this is very, I wouldn't recommend you doing this at home, but I'm just doing this just to show you an example. When you put your magazine in and you don't rack the slide back, nothing is going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release my mag, hit the mag release, okay? I'm going to rack this back a couple times, make sure there's no round in the chamber. Now I know the gun is completely empty. So let me show you this again. I have a fully loaded mag. I load my firearm. I'm not gonna rack it back. Right now, there's no round in the chamber. I have my trigger finger. I pull, nothing happens. That's because I didn't rack the slide back. Now let me rack the slide back. Now you can see the brass in the chamber. That bullet is now in the chamber and ready to engage. And if I pull the trigger, this gun will go off, but I'm not gonna do that. All right, and that's all it is to it. It's very simple. It's very easy to do. Most firearms, the slide release is on the rear end of the gun, like I mentioned before, and you have your mag release, which is also like near the back end of the trigger here. That's for most handguns. I'm sorry, that's for most handguns. Now, you may not have a Glock 48, but if you have any of the Glocks, it's pretty much generic and they pretty much keep their guns consistently, you know, the same. And I'm gonna show you another demonstration on a different firearm that I have, a different handgun, sorry, which is my SIG P320. Now, as you can see, it's the same thing. Now, this one, you can really see the mag release because it's more so defined. It really sticks out and it's easy for your thumb to catch it. A unique thing about these types of handguns, Glock and SIG, and I'm pretty sure other handguns, is that, you know, if you're left-handed, you can switch the mag release to this side, so then your thumb will be able to hit that mag release, all right? Same thing with the slide lock. This slide lock is more defined. It sticks out a little more. See if I can get you a good, there it goes. The slide lock sticks out a little bit more, so it's easier for my thumb to hit that, just like that. As opposed to when I have the Glock, the slide lock or slide release doesn't, it doesn't stick out as much. So you really have to dig your thumb inside to release the slide, or use two hands like I did just now. So I'm gonna just demonstrate with my SIG P320. So I got a fully loaded magazine here. The gun is already empty. There's nothing inside, and it's so easy to rack this slide back because I just recently cleaned it. All right, anyway, so I got a fully loaded mag. I load my firearm. There's no round in the chamber. If I pull this trigger, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen, nothing's happening. I'm pulling the trigger, nothing's happening because I didn't rack the slide back. Once I rack the slide back, now you can see that round in the chamber, we ready to engage, okay? So that's how you load your firearm. When you wanna unload your firearm, that mag release that I showed you, which is right there, and this is the slide lock here, I'm going to keep my index finger away from the trigger. I'm going to hit my mag release. Boom, it spits out the mag. I'm going to rack back my slide, and the round comes out of the chamber. I lock my slide by hitting that slide lock. Now we're able to safely put our firearm away and store it away from any children, friends, family, whoever the case may be, put it in our safe, whatnot. All right, so it's very easy and simple to do. When you're a new gun owner, it may be a little intimidating because you know you've never held a firearm before. It's heavy, it feels uncomfortable in your hand. You have to know what the functions of your firearm, you know, what they do. And again, you know, when you go to the gun range, you don't want to load your gun and you're thinking, okay, I'm good to go, and you're just there pointing and shooting and nothing is happening and you're looking crazy in the face. So you don't want to be that person. And another tip that I want to share with you is that, you know, it is good to get familiar with how many rounds your magazine actually holds. This is a 10+1 and this is a 15+1. This is my mag for my SIG and this is my mag for my Glock 48. Okay, it's really good to get familiar with how many rounds your magazine holds, because when you're shooting, you know, you want to have some type of feel or memory as to when you have that one, when you're on your last round. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're practicing, you know, let's say you're practicing and you're shooting, right? Bang, 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 bang. You're on your last round. Your mag will automatically lock back. All right? And sometimes what happens is you won't even notice that it's right back, and then you'll keep shooting. You're like, damn, what's happening? You're like, oh, I ran out of ammo. You know, so you want to try to develop this type of exercise or muscle memory to get familiar with how many rounds you're shooting as you shoot. And then, you know, some more advanced techniques, you'll be able to do a quick mag switch, boom, load, keep shooting, da 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 da. All right, so that's my terrible isn't permanent tip for you today. Like I said, it's very easy, it's very simple to do for you new gun owners out there, you beginners out there. Just practice. Probably I would recommend not practicing with live ammunition, obviously, if you've never held a gun or operated a firearm before. But I would strongly suggest that you get familiar with your firearm. I'll also leave a link in the description below where I spoke about getting familiar and comfortable with your firearm. All right, so again, this is Terrible Shooter. Remember, terrible isn't permanent. Make sure you guys practice safety, go to the range, practice shooting, work on fundamentals and all that good stuff. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share the channel, show some support. That helps this channel grow and we can all get better together. Peace, I'll get at you later.